Charlton Tire Service and Repair, located at 3399 2nd Street, Folkestone, Georgia, has everything you need for service and repair of your vehicle. Go see them today. For information, call 912-496-7329. Charlton Tire Service and Repair, a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet.
Folkestone Pharmacy and Electronics, located at 3885 Main Street in the heart of downtown Folkestone. They're Folkestone's original hometown pharmacy with 49 years serving the community. They have everything you need, including household items, prescription medications, high-tech electronics, and much more. Their experienced and friendly staff in the pharmacy and electronics department are ready to serve you. Folkestone Pharmacy and Electronics is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sports. Go Indians!
Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation has been providing quality electric service at a competitive price to residential, commercial, and industrial customers in southeast Georgia and northeast Florida since 1939. For tips and advice on how to save electricity and stretch your energy dollars, call 1-800-262-5131 and speak to your marketing representative. We are a cooperative owned by those we serve.
Welcome to the Coach Mack Show's season finale. Coach, first time in a long time. We're not planning on a Thanksgiving around here, but we ended the season on a high note over in Lanier County. Thomas and Raquan both had huge nights that night.
Yeah, we pushed really hard last week, game week, I guess it was last week before now. For this last game of the season, we wanted to really try to finish playing well, get out with a win, and really get to where the kids felt good about the end of the season before we get into the start of winter workouts coming in January. Thomas Tomcat Johnson, he needed a field goal to break our school record for career, and we wanted to. He deserved it. We wanted to make sure he got it, and he got it, and he kicked a great kick for it. And Raekwon had a great night with a touchdown, I believe, on an interception return, punt return, and kickoff return. He had a great night. There's a website called the Georgia High School Daily that comes out during the season every day, of course, and they recognized him for the state special team player of the week for that week, and Raekwon really had a great night there. Now, you know, as far as a year, a lot of our kids didn't have their better year, and that's something that we're going to be able to get right, and that all starts with our winter workouts coming up in January, and hopefully we can have a great winter in the weight room.
I know that night in the fourth quarter, you had a little bit of fun in there, the seniors getting in there. I saw Thomas in Harvey's 2 days after that. I said, what did you think when Coach sent you in there running back? He said, oh.
Well, I mean, you know, they're fantastic kids, and you know, the season was awful. 3-6, no playoffs. It's the worst season we ever had around here since I guess it would be 1988, my first year as an assistant. I think we had pretty much the same record. So, you know, but it was one of those things where the kids were playing well and that sort of stuff, and I wanted to really help give the seniors some more memories, and so we let some seniors such as Dustin Shepard, an offensive lineman who's had three knee surgeries in his career. We let him carry the football one time. First time he's ever done that, probably at any level of football, junior high and high school. I mean, junior high and rec league. You know, like I told Dustin Shepard, you know, 20, 30 years from now, he'll be telling people he ran for 50 yards or something, but I don't know if he got back to the line of scrimmage. But it was fun for those guys, and it was fun to see them finish up their career. Eddie Mincy, who had hand surgery this year, fought his way back. I've had kids in the past who have had surgery during the season and could possibly come back, but they just disappeared. They stopped coming around. They stopped trying to rehab and get back on the field. They just simply gave up. But guys like Eddie Mincy, he wasn't going to give up. He was going to get back on the field, even if it was going to be just for his last 2 or 3 games of his career. So we're really proud of those seniors. Small group. There are 6 of them. It's the first time in a long time I haven't had a poster sitting in my office, the senior poster with their pictures on it, and sometime during the year scribbled one of them out because he quit us. But so all 6 of them started with us and they finished with us. So I was proud of those guys and to finish up their career with a win and hopefully good things will happen to those guys.
Well, I know they had the seniors seemed to be having a good time in that fourth quarter. It was fun for me and Coach Cruz webcasting the game from the bleachers. The press box wasn't quite big enough for us. But it was nice to see the kids. They were relaxed, having a good time out there in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they were playing fast, and they had a certain level of confidence. We were playing a team that had only won 1 game this year, and I think the year before they may have only won 1 game, and I don't think they've won more than a couple games ever. The kids knew that. The kids knew they were not a very good football team they were playing, and that gave them confidence, I guess, to go after them and play hard. My feeling was, and talking to our coaches, I said, if our guys would show up every game with confidence that they can play well, play fast, and make things happen, then we might not be 3-6. We might be 6-3. I don't know, but it was really, you see the kids take the field confident, knowing that they're going to defeat these guys and that sort of thing. That's kind of the way it used to be every week around here, back when the kids had confidence in themselves. Of course, I think confidence all starts in the weight room. It all starts the way you practice, and it all starts on the way you take the field on Friday night. Without confidence that you're going to get this thing done, or you're going to play well, or you're going to compete, then stuff like this happens, getting blown out by, Telfair and Clinch and people like that, teams that are very, very good football teams.
All right, Coach. So, if you don't mind, let's hit on the final stats for
Sure.
the season. I'll hand these to you and let you hit on what you want to get there. That's all for the end of the regular season for the Indians.
Well, one thing that you notice right away is not so much our stats, but our opponent's stats. We averaged in 9 games, we only played 9 games, almost 230 yards rushing by our opponent. We averaged 110 yards, so our opponent was doubling us in rushing yards every game. Our defense, we were not very good at all. How's that? We weren't very good in stopping the run. We were average in stopping the pass. If you don't stop people in the running game at any level of football, you can't expect to win. It's hard to expect to win whenever you're giving up. You're giving up all these carries. You're giving up, I believe, an average of 5.8 yards a carry. You run the ball twice, you have a first down. So that right there is just not very good at all. We averaged 3.6. And we averaged 110 yards a game rushing the football, which simply isn't very good. It's the first time, I believe, ever that we've not had a 1,000-yard rusher. And that's not all the running back at all. When you run for a lot of yards, I always tell the running back, hey, it wasn't all you, it was the offensive line doing the job. When you don't run for a lot of yards and your yards per carry is down, then it also has something to do with the offensive line also. It's a group effort. either way. It's a group effort when things go good. It's a group effort when things don't go so well. So our defense against the run was awful. Our run offense wasn't very good. Pass offense, we threw for 53%, which is right where about a high school kid is going to be. Outstanding is usually 60. Anything below 50 is not where you want to be. So 53% in passing wasn't bad. We actually threw for a lot more yards than we rushed for. We rushed for as a team for 992 yards, and we threw for 1,591 yards. So it's over 500 yards more in the passing game than the running game, which I'm not complaining about that necessarily. It just goes to show you, or it should be about even. When we've thrown the ball real well and we've run the ball real well, those stats have been really close to being even. This year, we had to rely on the pass a lot more than the run, simply because we weren't real good up front on the offensive line, and we just couldn't get the running game going. So hopefully next year we're going to be more balanced. It'd be great next year if it was one of those years that we were in competition for the playoffs. We're looking at throwing the ball for 2,000 yards and running the ball for close to 2,000 yards, somewhere in there. And we've had that on our really good football teams. So right now, I think AJ's coming back at quarterback, throwing for 1,500 yards, which is good for us, which is good for him, and so forth. But you can also if you look at the state average, if you look at in the course of the state, people throwing the football, we have 4 guys in the state of Georgia who have thrown over 3,000 yards, and then you have probably another 20, 30 kids that have thrown for over 2,000 yards. So there's a lot of, when you start thinking that, hey, 1,500 yards is incredible, 1,500 yards is good, it's solid. But also you need to look at, hey, these other guys, are throwing for over 3,000 yards. We've been there before. We've had quarterbacks that have done that. But again, we've got to get better on the offensive side of the ball, and the number one place we've got to get better is on the offensive line. That group has got to get better, and it starts in the weight room. I'm already evaluating those guys. Coach Murray is a fantastic offensive line coach. In my opinion, he's the best offensive line coach in high school football. I take him over anybody. But again, you can send your best craftsman out with poor tools. It's going to be hard to get the job done. And I've already been evaluating in the weight room, looking at our guys, looking at the way they lift, who shows up every day to work hard, who doesn't show up every day. And it's going to be simple. It's if you're not going to get the job done for me in the weight room, it's going to be hard. I just don't see how you can get the job done for us on Friday night. So you probably need to be eliminated. We need to move you back. And we've already taken a look at some guys in the weight room, and I can tell you right now, there's going to be already some changes. I can tell you after just 2 weeks a week and a half being out of football season, I can tell you right now there'll be some changes on the offensive line, no question. We have some guys, I think, Aaron Brazil, who did a great job at center for us. I think Aaron is one of our region's better centers. I feel really great about him. Another guy that had to go play defense, Bryce Manning. Bryce Manning had to play both ways. Next year, I think he'll have to play both ways again, but I think he's a really good offensive lineman. After that, we really have got to really search and hunt for some kids. And again, whatever reason it is, they've got to understand when I'm standing behind them in the weight room and I'm watching a kid go through a workout and he's not getting it done, it's kind of like I'm making notes. This kid ain't getting it done. These kids are getting it done. These are my guys. These are the guys they're going to get the job done for us. And it all starts now. It starts in the weight room and in the classroom and in the school community. If I look at kids in the lunchroom, that's a big thing I do too. I just want to see how they carry themselves, because at the end of the day, I'm looking for winners. I'm looking for guys that'll go and compete each and every day in each and every aspect of the life. Today I watched wrestling practice. I wanted to see who was there. I wanted to see there's a lot of kids. We probably talked to 30 kids about wrestling. I said, explain to them. Guys like Ray Lewis, NFL, one of the NFL's greatest linebackers, he wrestled in high school. If you go and look at the college offensive and defensive linemen and linebackers and you ask them, what sports did you play in high school, other than football, of course, and almost every one of them is going to tell you we wrestled. And I had a chance to watch wrestling practice day. We had 4 kids there. So obviously we didn't reach them as far as explaining to them, trying to explain to them how this is going to help this, So it's trying to reach these kids and explain to them how to get better and that sort of thing, and that's what we've got to do, and it's a challenge. It's actually, to me, the off season is more difficult than the season. During the season, we have a great routine. I pretty much know everybody's going to be at practice every day. I pretty much know everybody's going to be at school every day. So that part of the year, it's not easy by no means, but it's easier than this time of the year. This time of the year, you check the absentee sheet and you every day see who came to school, who didn't come to school, who's going to work in the weight room today, who's not going to work in the weight room. So that's a harder challenge than during the football season. For me, it is, because for me, it's important. It's important to me that you come to school. It's important to me that you do everything right in the classroom. And it's also important to me that you do what you're supposed to do in the weight room to help us become better. And when we're not getting that, that's when we have issues, and that's when we got to address those things. Statistically, also, you just look at if you're in the numbers and you look at the numbers, for instance, so many years, and I went back and looked at all the other years in the past. You just look at the yardstick, for instance. We had 144 first downs, which is a little bit lower than what we've had, but this is the first time we've had our opponent have more first downs than us. Points per game, this is the first year that we've actually been behind in the points per game. So it's just numbers. You look at that sort of thing right there. Defensively, finished the year with only 6 interceptions, and I believe half of them came last Friday night, or in the last game of the season, I believe. Actually, they were each. Half of our interceptions came in the last game, which isn't where you want to be. Fumble recoveries, a little bit below. Blocked kicks. We try to block every single extra point and field goal. So you look at how many times did we line up with the intention of blocking every single field goal, and we only blocked 2 of them. That's not real good percentage there. We blocked 2 punts. We probably attempt to block probably 80% of all punts. The other 20% we're setting up returns of some sort, which means we're not going to put pressure on the punter. We're going to try to get everybody back to set up protection. So of 80% of all the punts that we try to get, and I believe our opponents punted the ball 22 times this year, so you figure, 2 blocks out of 22 of them still should be a little bit higher than that. We only had 4 kids on the team have sacks. That's not real good. We should have probably, most of our defense, at some point in time during the year, should have had a sack. And we only have 7 sacks, and only 4 of those kids had sacks. So again, the defensive side of the ball needs a lot of work. The offensive line needs a lot of work. If I knew that both those 2 units were going to improve a great deal over the offseason between now and between our first game, which would be, Pierce County on August 18th, at the first real game on August 25th when we go to Brantley, if I knew those 2 parts of our game was going to improve, and I guess I need to add one more, and that's the kicking game, when you lose your punter and kicker, who's a really good player. So I guess those 3 phases right there, our kicking game, our defense, and our offensive line, if we can improve in those areas, we'll be a better football team next year. If we don't improve, well, it'll be just more of the same.
Next year, the offensive line and defensive line, they build up, and we're doing this wrap-up show in the end of December.
Yeah.
Instead of mid-November.
Yeah, we'll have a chance, and that's, it's all about improvement in everything you do. I told the coaches before, when we met with the kids last Monday, and I met with the coaches afterwards, I told the coaches, I said, listen, I need every one of you guys to improve also. We're telling these kids that this wasn't good enough. You didn't do we have to do better. I told the coaches, I'm telling you the same thing I'm telling the kids. We got to get better. We got to get better as a coaching staff. I like our coaching staff. I think we have the right guys in place, and always looking to add a coach occasionally, and that's no different this year. But again, we got to come up with something to reach these kids and explain to them the importance of every single down and the importance of preparation for every single game. And if we can do that, then I think that we have a chance for a better season next year.
All right, Coach. Let's jump into the schedule. I don't even have the basketball schedules yet, and we've already got football for next season. Spring game coming back this year, May 16th. We're headed over to Camden County. Now, will there be a regular spring game like we're used to, or is this the game?
This is the game. We're not going to do an inter-squad scrimmage. We're going to play a football game against Camden. We're going to put the kids in their costumes and dress them up and take them over, and we're going to do pregame meal like a game day. We're going to treat it all like a game day. If we're going to practice playing football, we're going to practice game day also. Like I explained to the coaches, I said we're going to have our meetings, we're going to feed them, we're going to keep them, we're going to do all that like we would regular. It's going to be a regular game. We're going to treat it as such, and the only difference is we've got about 4 months to prepare for it and try to get better. And hopefully when we go over there, we're not going over there with any idea that, hey, we're going to beat Camden, because that's not what it's really about. What it is, we're going to go over there with the idea that we're going to look better. You're going to see a much improved offensive line. You're going to see a much improved defense. We're going to be able to put a kicker on the field, a punter on the field. Who that is, we have no idea. And so, back in, I think, 1987, the year before I got here, that was the last spring football game. Last year, the GHSA said you can now have a spring game and one scrimmage in the fall. So last year we took the 2 scrimmages. We liked it. We thought it was good and so forth. But still, then I just felt like it was the worst winter program we ever had. So I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to see if I put almost like a carrot in front of them, and that carrot being spring football and a spring game, will we do better in the winter workouts? Will we not? Last year we started off pretty good in January, then every month we just faded. And I'm wondering if it wasn't because we didn't have spring football to look forward to and kind of hold that out in front of them. You've got to get ready to go out and compete in spring football. Spring football is where we start figuring out who can play and who can't play. So with this year, not only do we have spring football out there, but you have a spring football game. So we're going to dress you up. We're not going to put the spears on the helmet. We'll wait till the year to put. We'll wait till August 18th to do that. But we'll dress them up otherwise and go over to Camden and play some tackle football and really evaluate where we are and see what kind of winter workouts we had. The rest of the schedule is the same with the exception of the home and away. Pierce on the road, Brantley on the road. Brantley County had a great football team, and I think they'll have a great football team this year. But then we have 2 in a row at home. Appleton County, we first home game will be September the 1st with Appleton County, a very good, bigger school. Savannah Christian, who's still playing. Then we go on the road to Atkinson, then we go on the road to Turner County. And it's probably the last time I say this, but that place is the toughest place for us to play for whatever reason, and I'm not sure what it is. But it's a tough place to play. Turner County's still playing. Irwin County's still playing. And then you got the end of the schedule at Wilcox and at Clinch, 2 tough places to play. A great Telfair team that should have been in the playoffs will be here. And then we'll finish up with senior night next year with Lanier County right here. And hopefully hopefully, if we get better, then after that, hopefully we have a playoff game, and that's what we're shooting for. And every year you're shooting to get in the playoffs, and it used to be a big deal around here, and hopefully it will be again. And that's what we're trying to get back to. It almost feels like we're starting over. It almost feels like this is my first year as head coach again, coming off 3-5, which is 3-6, which I believe after I got the job, 2 years before I got the job, we were 3-7. So it feels like it's almost like we're starting over. When you go 3-6 and don't make the playoffs, any change you make can't hurt you because you're already at the bottom of the barrel. You're already out of 40 football teams in your classification, you finished in the 30s. You're only better than maybe 6 or 7 football teams in the entire classification. So you make changes, how can it hurt? There's no pressure. There's no pressure saying, listen, we got to stick with this because we know it works. We don't know anything works anymore. We can go ahead and make changes and look at different people in different spots and do some things and see what we can do. And we're going to give kids chances in the weight room. They'll have chances to impress us in the weight room and chances to get better. And they'll also have chances to show us that they don't want to play. And if they don't want to play, that's fine too. We'll take what we have. We lost probably in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season. We were losing at least 1 or 2 kids a week. At the end, we were losing one kid a day the last week of the season. And that's fine, because what we have, when we went over to Lanier County, it really felt like that's who we should have been playing with all along. The kids we left behind, the kids we took their equipment up during the week who didn't show up, those are the kids we probably should have gotten rid of back last August and last September, to be honest with you. And maybe we're to that point where we got to start trimming. We don't need to have 65, 70 kids on a Class A school. Not when you look at Clinch County, who has 35 players on their team, and they have a chance to win a state championship. Why do you need 65 kids when half of them are just standing around and not doing anything and not getting better? Those may need to go. So we have a lot to look at. We got a lot to do between now and May when we take the field, and hopefully we're going to be in good shape to do that.
Hopefully we'll get 10 games in the regular season, no hurricanes.
That would be great. That would be great. Yeah, that would be great.
I wanted to pick your brain a little bit. Well, first of all, we've already got a couple of things on the calendar coming up into the future here. The Fall Sports Awards, we're not going to divulge any information yet. They're January 30th, 6 p.m. at the gym. Yeah,
that's a tough night. That's a tough night for me because everybody thinks everybody should get a trophy. I think we've all seen that, and we all think we should be rewarded for whatever reason. And I just don't feel comfortable with that. Talking to the coaches. Talking about awards, I told them, I said, listen, my opinion is, the best award we've ever given out is a state championship ring. Everybody gets one. That's the only thing I think every kid deserves, is when you win a state championship, every kid gets a ring. Awards night, these plaques are getting expensive, and we try to do a nice job. Tammy Bell takes some great pictures. We put those on there. The kids that get plaques, really love them, and the mamas that of the babies who don't get plaques usually call me that night, and I tell them all, I said, get me $15 and I'll go get your son a plaque and make it look nice and put a picture on it for him. But it seems like everybody thinks they deserve a plaque. I got to where I don't have a great attitude about awards night anymore. I enjoy giving a deserving kid a plaque. I really do. And then when it's all over and you got kids pouting, you got mamas pouting and everything, it drives me crazy. And it takes away from those who really deserved it. So as you can tell, I'm not a trophy for every kid kind of guy. I'm not a guy that thinks we shouldn't keep score. I think we should always keep score. And I think that you should always try to be a winner in everything you do. You're not always going to win, and when you don't win, you need to know how not to win. And I think that we've always taught our kids around here how to behave and how to respond to failure. I've had a lot of coaches come up and tell me. Actually, I had 6 of them this year. Six six schools that beat us. All of them told me, says, Coach, you guys have incredible sportsmanship, and after the game, all your kids shake hands and say, good game, and all your coaches do the same, and you're always the one who asks us to come pray with you, and we try to say something to the other team like, best of luck this year, rest of the way, and all that kind of stuff. And I believe in sportsmanship, and I believe all that we're doing and everything. But, at the end of the day, I really hate to see the other guy win. I want to be the one who wins. I want our kids to be the one. I want Charlton County to be the team that wins, and that sort of thing. But again, awards night, I know I went a long way around to tell you, we have an awards night. It's at 6 o'clock in the gym. A few kids will be getting some plaques, and there's going to be a bunch of them that don't. If we'd like for you to come and support the cheerleaders and the girls softball team, who had a great year, and then also support those kids of ours that are also going to be rewarded with some plaques. Also on the calendar, we have the All Sports Physicals, a very, very important date. That's April the 25th. That's for any sport that we have at Charlton County for the 2017-2018 calendar. If they're only $5. No real excuse. I told these kids, I said, I don't do math real well. I can figure stats out and stuff, but I told them, I said, listen, if you'll save a quarter to 15 cents between now and April 25th, you'll be really close to $5. I'll have to do the math. I think they would be. Even if they only come up with $4.50, we'll take that and we'll give them a physical for it. But on April the 25th, we'll have some doctors volunteering their time. We'll have EMS will be volunteering their time here at Charlton County High School, and we'll need to get the physicals done that night. So hopefully we do. And if a kid misses a physical, then they need to go on their own and pay $50, $60, $70 to get a physical if they want to play. So hopefully we'll get everybody here on after school on April the 25th as far as that goes. Also during the off season in the month of March, about middle March, we're going to do the ribs again for the quarterback club, and the ribs have been a great fundraiser. We're going to stick with that. We're going to keep doing that until we just can finally one day don't have any help doing it. The kids will be selling ribs in the 1st of March. End of February, 1st of March, we'll be selling the rib slabs, and those have always turned out really good for us, and that's going to be a good fundraiser. And also, I think also in March or April, we're going to do maybe another golf tournament. The one in the fall has been a tremendous success. It's always been a sellout. And talking to a lot of those guys have told me that they would be interested in playing some golf in the fall. I mean, a lot of those guys play golf every weekend, so this just gives them another excuse to come play golf. So in the springtime, we're going to probably put on another golf tournament, and then also we'll have the quarterback club steak dinner. That will be, I think, May the 4th, if that's a Thursday, but it's going to be the first Thursday in May. We'll do the quarterback club steak dinner. That's been a sellout the last couple of years, and somebody's going to win $1,000, and everybody's going to get a great steak, guarantee that. So that's going to be 3 things right there. We're going to do the ribs, another golf tournament, the quarterback club steak dinner. And also, if you follow Facebook, if you follow me on Facebook, I try to get a lot of information out about Charlton County High School. I don't tweet or I don't face chat or any of that stuff or whatever they call it. I just do the Facebook thing. That's enough. And I try to put Charlton County football information on it. And you might have noticed we sold a bunch of plaques, $1,000 worth of plaques that went on lockers, and the person I got to really thank for that is Dr. Josh Howard, who's our principal at the high school. He's a former football player. His son plays for us, and he went and sponsored $800 worth of plaques for our locker room for Mr. Floyd Sykes, Mr. Bill Giddens, guys that have been in the program for a long, long time that have been, are no longer up in the press box, but they've sure been here for a long time. Hopefully you got a chance to see that. And also Fred and Rawling Coley also bought a plaque to honor their son, Jason Coley, who Jason was my first quarterback ever. He wore number 33, and we played for a state championship. And the year before, he was a defensive lineman, and I was an assistant coach, and I knew that kid had something special about him. And when I became head coach, I knew I had to find a quarterback. And I found my first quarterback over on the defensive line and brought him over to play quarterback, and we played for a state championship that year. Jason Coley, number 33, my first quarterback ever. So he's got a plaque in here now, and I'd love to fill these lockers up with plaques, even after we get the loan paid off, which we still got a ways to go on the loan for these lockers to get them paid off. I still want to keep going down. I want to keep putting these plaques. Maybe sometime you can get on video and show people. But I want to keep having plaques go right down to honor anybody. They don't have to have played football. It can be a memorial of somebody who's passed. I have a few of them in here also. It can be. I even have some for kids for the graduating class of 2030, I think, or 2020. I do have a kid already have one in here for that. So again, it's $200. You and other people can go in. You could even have classes. I've told different classes, different guys that have been classes. If you guys want as a class, like the class of 1990, those football players can each throw in $10, $20, and next thing you know, there'll be $200 there, and we can get a plaque that says, in honor of the class of 1990, state runner-up or whatever. And again, all that money, 100% of that money goes to pay on that loan we have. So really encourage people, just because it's off season. And I'll tell you what, it makes a great Christmas present. $200, you can surprise them. I can get the plaque, you can wrap it, and I'll put it up in one of these lockers. Christmas morning, they can open it up and see that they're going to have a plaque forever that'll be on one of these lockers in here for one of your former players. It could be cheerleader, band member. It don't matter. We just really want to honor people, put them in these lockers. These lockers are in great condition. This locker room still looks brand new. It's going to always look this way if we have anything to say about it. And again, it's just a way for us to give back to the quarterback club and to give back to the community with these plaques. So you'll hear us talk about these plaques probably for the next 20, 30 years until we get these lockers paid off, whenever that may be. But again, we appreciate Dr. Josh Howard for doing this, and also Dr. John Laracy. He's bought a few, and former players, coaches of mine have bought them, and so forth. Really want to thank our coaches, want to thank you guys, want to thank you and Tammy for promoting Charlton County football. There's a lot of programs that don't get promoted the way you guys promote it, and I really appreciate that. And hopefully next year we'll have a great year, win some football games, and get in the playoffs and get a little excitement going on out here at the Swamp.
Well, we love doing it, Coach. Anytime you need us, you call us. You know that?
Yep.
Hey, I wanted to pick your brain a little bit. We're at the end of the show, and CSN has been asked to webcast the In the Game Sports Awards December 12th for the region Southeast. So I wanted to have a little fun with you, if you don't mind. These are the stats for the offensive leaders in our area. I mean, you've been to these award shows, so you pretty much know the schools involved.
Yep.
I was looking at the quarterback situation. There's some competition there at quarterback between Stetson, McClellan. I'm not McClellan, he'd be in South, wouldn't he?
No, Brantley County. Brantley County. Yeah. The McClellan from Clinch. They have their own In the Game magazine over there, and really the guys that'll be recognized over here is going to be Mikael Collins and Stetson Bennett, and I can just about guarantee. Also Frazier from Liberty County. I can just about guarantee that all those guys will receive something that night. It's a really a great atmosphere. The building that they have it in is the old auditorium, which they've redone up in Waycross. They have a guest speaker, and it's always a great speaker. Last year it was a former Georgia Bulldog. I can't remember his name. I'm not up on all those old Bulldog guys, but it had a great speaker. The food was incredible. It's a tie, jacket and tie type atmosphere. They do a great job. Sean Smoke, who does the In the Game magazine for this area, if you ever see him in the newsstand, I know they're at all the flash foods, pick one up. It's great reading. Whatever it costs, I don't know what it is, $5, maybe $10. Whatever that magazine costs, it's well worth it. The pictures are fabulous in there. I know Tammy's taken some pictures that have been in there. The articles are really well done about kids from our area, the Camden area, Waycross area, us, Pierce, Brantley, Glenn, and McIntosh, all the way up to, I think, Wayne County, and that area is covered in that magazine. And as far as Player of the Year goes, it's going to go. I'll tell you, we're just guessing here, and if I had to bet, I'm not much of a betting person. Mikel Collins and Stetson Bennett are two of the best football players I've seen in a long time come from this part of the state. Stetson Bennett has Division I ability. Of course, everybody is worried about the height. Everybody wants the big, tall kids, and Stetson Bennett is as good a quarterback as I've seen down here. I know he's been offered by Mercer. I think that's where he's going, possibly Mercer. But he has the ability to play it anywhere in the country. It's just his size and his height that may keep him from playing at an SEC school. But he has that kind of ability. Mikel Collins is, and not taking anything away from any of the Brantley County football players, but that guy right there, he beat us. I mean, he beat us to death that night. And really he's a kind of kid. Both these guys, the thing that they do, the thing that Mikel does and Stetson does, is they take the rest of the team and they elevate it. That's a sign of a great player. When you can be very, very good, you can be great yourself, but also you just rise the talent, you rise the play of everybody around you. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but when you have a kid on your football team like Mikel or Stetson, these guys are going to make those guys around them better just by the way they play and the way they go about their game. Mikel and Stetson are both high-character kids. If I had to pick a player of the area for the thing I would do, and the advice I would give to Sean is to buy 2 plaques. Because I don't know how you're going to. Because I'll tell you what, both these kids are just incredible. Both of them in the playoffs. Stetson's still in the playoffs. And looking at Pierce County's bracket now, I ain't trying to put any pressure on Pierce County, but looking at their bracket, it's a good bracket. I can see Pierce County playing for a couple more weeks, and you never know how far when you have a great player like Stetson Bennett, an incredible player. We've had kids play at the Division I level. I've had a lot of kids play at Georgia, Florida State, Purdue. Stetson Bennett and Mikel Collins is one of those kind of kids. No question about it. Just incredible. And looking at this now, this is the end of the year stats. I don't know if people are interested in this, but as far as the statewide goes, the number 1 and number 2 players in the state at quarterback in passing, I know the Foreman kids going to University of Georgia from Houston County, and they're not in the playoffs. Griffin. I'm not sure if they're in or not. I'd have to look. But irregardless, if Pierce County can keep playing, the end-of-year stats for the state of Georgia, for the host state, Stetson Bennett may be our number 1 passing quarterback in the state. And he deserves it. And that guy is fantastic, Stetson Bennett is. I can't say enough about him. Just his arm mechanics, his footwork, his vision, his knowledge to know where to get the ball out of his hand fast into the receiver's hands. And I know that just because of him, Friday night, that's probably where I'm going to go, is to watch Pierce County and just to watch the way he plays the game of quarterback. And he does a great job. But Mikel Collins, incredible player, needs to be playing Division I football somewhere. Both those guys are just outstanding. But you look in this list also, and I don't know if it's something you're going to share with people, but Clinch County probably in the top 50 or whatever. Clinch County's number 10, Charles McKelland, I believe that's how you pronounce it. All I ever remember is number 10. He's only a junior. He's coming back. So he's got a chance after next year. Next year you may see him up here somewhere towards the top. Good player, great player, Division I player.
Good news, 2 or 3 of those are graduating.
Yep. But let me tell you, Southeast Georgia football is loaded with talent. You know, I've had people look at our football teams this year and say, you know, you weren't really a bad football team, that, you know, or whatever. It's just who you play. I mean, we play great people, and you can't do nothing about it. You can't do nothing about the fact who you play in your region. Unless you go non-region, then still who you're going to play. You're going to end up playing the same people. But it's a tough part of the state to play. A lot of talent down here, a lot of football talent, and where you make up ground and where you try to get better is through the weight room, through conditioning, through competition in other sports, and through nutrition. And that's the message I'm trying to get through to our kids. If I can, maybe we can be better and have a better year next year.
All right, Coach. I appreciate you doing it again this year. Anything else you want to hit on before we call it a season?
No, I think we've talked about everything, just about. And but I appreciate you, Adam. Thank you very much. Everything you've done for us, and Tammy, I really appreciate you. She's more or less a team mom. There, you guys have. You know, I tell you what, for myself and the coaches, we do a lot, and there's only so much we can do. And Fridays, it's great to see you and Tammy back there feeding these kids, and it's a big deal to our coaches, and it's a big deal to us, and it's a big deal to our kids. Our kids know who care. Our kids know who cares for them, and without a doubt, you and Tammy feeding us every Friday, you know, scooping that lasagna and spaghetti, and after about the 60th or 70th plate, I'm sure it gets tired. Yeah, and you guys done a great job, and of course, Thank goodness we got AJ next year. So if nothing else, we have our quarterback and we have our servers for one more year. But just a warning: when I get good servers, I don't let them go easy. So hopefully, maybe we'll keep you around for quite a while. But again, hey, I tell you what, we love our kids, and we're going to push them, we're going to coach them, and we're going to get them better. And hopefully, next year will be a better season.
Well, I appreciate everything, and you allow us the access and all. I love it. I have a ball, and we're looking forward to next year. Excited about next season, and let's head to the playoffs next year.
Let's get there.
All right. Thank you all for watching the Coach Max Show. We will see you during basketball season, Maidens and Indians basketball coming up in just a couple of weeks. Thank you for watching.
Hi, I'm Stetson Bennett from Bennett's Hometown Pharmacy in Folkestone, Georgia, where we love you and we need you. Here at Bennett's Pharmacy, we want to be your pharmacy. We offer a full line of prescription drugs, a full line of vitamins and over-the-counter products, and we have tremendous service. We will take the time to counsel you on your medication. We'll even call your doctor to see if we can save you some money. At Bennett's Pharmacy, we support all student athletes in Charlton County. This spring, it's baseball, track, golf, and tennis. Get out and support these young men and women that will be the next leaders in our community. Bennett's Hometown Pharmacy. Remember, shop at home. It makes a difference.
Head On Collision is a family-owned and operated business located in Folkestone, Georgia, across from Gibson McDonald. We specialize in automotive repair, damage caused by small and major accidents. We restore old vehicles and bring them back to their original glory. We also spray Speedliner bedliners, the world's toughest spray and bedliner. We work with all insurance companies to make your experience as easy as possible. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. It matters how long you've been doing it right.